Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let me hear it.
I sprint through a forest etched in bay leaves and branches. Humankind cannot bear very much reality, the trees hiss. It did not occur to me that trees could quote T.S. Eliot, but it doesn't matter because in this forest I've been torn open. My skin splinters and peels off like bark. My muscles slowly begin to atrophy. My veins detach and fall to the ground like a writhing road map. There go my lungs. All my moist walls of protection have been stripped away, and I am no longer a body. Instead, I am the headlines from the morning newspaper. A woman in India is gang raped and killed. Lives of millions of Syrians hang in the balance. Remember Michael Brown, because he matters. I am the understanding and the sharing of every sufferer's burden. Does the baby spruce feel it too? Has it seen the fear in brown eyes, the metals, the terror, the evils that our dappled hands are capable of? It roots happily in the frosted ground, with nothing but the mountain air in its embrace. My imagination is wild, for in reality, I'm not so different from the spruce. I have cells and bones and blood. I have blue and purple veins like blackened branches on clouds, organs that moan, skin, self-interest, oblivion, cotton, wool, silk, and velvet. I am smothered with these layers that keep me from knowing the bad, that let me lie in the cool, pink shadow of our great nation's flag. But I don't want to be like the spruce, solitary, isolated, unfeeling. Humankind is not meant to be like this. We are not creatures of the numb stones and shallow waters, though it may seem that way after years of sedimentary buildup. We must carve through our layers of rock. To the lost souls deep in the quaking forests inside, we must strip away our layers until we are no longer swathed in mists of oblivion and indifference, until our veins start to intertwine, until we become one, pulsing, feeling being that shares every burden and receives each thing, holy or damned, with our hands open and ready for salvation.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let's hear it.
A morning stroll, Main Road, Charleston, South Carolina. Each step I take bears the weight of my shadow, encompassing hundreds of souls hindered and hurt, their mass heavying my stride, exhausting my exuberance. 9 shots of fire in a house of holiness, a bloodied barter, exchanges of black blood for vile vengeance. Prejudice pools sinking into black skin as ink on paper, stains of permanence. Oh, Father, why is this war of wrangled racism webbed through generations as the silk of spiders is threaded between branches of family trees? Festered fear searching for sanctification in a place of safety, marred by selfish sin. A vial of injustice swallowed by a culture, viscous and virulent, an epidemic of inequality. Fire dances in the eye of anger, an iris bloodied with dyes of disdain, lashes mangled, singed black by flames of judgment, risen from a pupil of coal, dense centers of animosity and bias. In the eyes of the begotten, a curse of color blossoming through my pores. Why must my skin paint me criminal? Thank you.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let's hear it.
Here's the thing about life. It's confusing and painful too. I guess I never listened when my teacher said I would go through hardships. I didn't want to know what the future would bring. I desperately clung to my bubble of happiness and didn't let anyone poke at the sides. Maybe that's why my bubble popped. I let someone get too close to me. Then he disappeared. He took my happiness with him, put it in his back pocket to save for later. You never know what will come your way. The human brain can only predict so much, and some things are unimaginable. That's what hurts so bad, the unimaginable. For some, it might bring unexpected delight, but not for me. Mine was a nightmare. A storm came and the wind was fierce. It popped so many bubbles, too many bubbles. We looked back in regret. What if we checked the weather forecast a few hours before? Where was the weatherman when we needed him most? You'd think we'd be able to see the storm. But we couldn't. We didn't, and it came anyways. What are you supposed to do when the wind comes? Someone might advise to set up a tent and ride it out, but that is not what we did. There was nowhere to hide. We stepped outside, stretched our arms wide, and stared up at the sky. We braced the wind, no matter how much it hurt. And let me tell you, it hurt really, really bad. The wind penetrated beneath our skin. It scratched and clawed at our insides, eating us alive, devouring our souls, and chewing our hearts. I thought it would never end. I would do anything to go back to that day in May and stop the wind from gaining momentum, halt it in its path. It was too fierce for me, too powerful for my deaf ears, blind eyes, and ignorant thoughts. The wind had a mind of its own. Suicide had a mind of its own. For many people, the storm passed quickly. It lessened to a breeze and then went away, but not for me. No. The wind never left me. It still twirls around me, stays wherever I go. I must live with it there. I must accept that my bubble will never fully repair. It's okay that the wind is by my side. It hurts, but it's okay. It just can't blow me over. I won't let it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let me hear it.
Racism does not exist, says the well-off white man living on the hill. Racism does not exist, says the woman who had never been asked to drop her bag in the store. Says the man who had never had trouble getting a job. Says the man who had never been stopped by police. Says the man who had never been murdered by police. I know what you're thinking, another kid getting rowdy over race. Look at her face. Well, you would be too if your friend was tased by police. And it doesn't matter whether or not he was a good kid on the football team or someone lost in negative extremes. He's just a kid, minding his own business, but then soon a victim of being suspicious. The whole scene was vicious and left me with the sickness. Left me feeling ill, and these cops were left with the thrill. They're doing their same damn drill, waiting to pounce on their next kill. And the police reports were long because I know that they know that we know they did something wrong, and it's not about whites fixing blacks or blacks fixing whites. It's shining a light on the dark tunnel of ignorance our people are so lost in. Gentrification will not solve our cause. Portland itself has the worst faux pas, #1 in the nation for pushing out communities. White businessmen come in thinking they're building immunity, all while cultures struggle to survive. Black, Latino, Asian, Native, the whole beehive. And our women have got it the worst. The queens of all cultures just seem to be cursed. Why are we still talking about rape and the way that the rapist is praised? Why are we saying that the victim is to blame? To be asking for it or not to be asking for it, she must have been. Her shoulders were showing and her legs were all skin. So what if consent was not given? No one will believe her. She belongs in the kitchen. And for God's sakes, stop hitting on us in the street. Don't tell me to smile. It's not as flattering as you think. I don't have to live up to these expectations you hold. These whistles and compliments are really getting old. Bold choices made by these grown men, yet if women were to try them, we'd be far from commended. But men don't have it off the hook completely. Don't show too much emotion, don't be less than man, don't talk like a woman, don't throw like a woman, don't love like a woman. God forbid you resemble anything woman. But the strongest thing you could be is woman. Fight like a woman, create life like a woman, or do not create life like a woman because after all it is her choice. And just because you have a vagina doesn't make you a chick, and having a doesn't make you a guy. Lies told to us are beyond to make us believe what's right and what's wrong. Don't be with the one you love if you have the same drunk. Don't be on the outside looking in. It's cold out there. The world is a dark and scary place. We blame society for suicide, yet are we not society just standing by on the sidelines? Genocide is a crime against humanity, and pushing people off the edge with words is too. The United States is considered a developed country, built on guns and germs and steel, built on the graves of lost cultures and the brittle yet burly bones of our ancestors, but we love it here. We raise that flag, put our right hand on our heart. One nation under God, we say in unison, while the descendants of its architectures lie in prison. We don't mind. We keep our heads high. While you may think we all coexist, just remember, none of these things exist.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let's hear it.
I am no longer a child, running through parks, clambering over logs, twigs strewn throughout my hair, creating kingdoms in the treetops. I am not yet fully grown, sitting at a desk, fingers poised over a keyboard, my best outfit freshly ironed. I am something else. I am the in-between, the undefined. I am the growing, the changing. I am the turning point, strong yet easily influenced. I am my own person just waiting to burst forth, yet the world sees me as something unsteady. Neither one nor the other, child nor adult. I am the ever-changing sea, a wind who could blow any direction. I am uncharted territory. The instability causes a need in others, a need to make me solid, to make me grow roots where I stand, using any means to achieve that end, pulling, twisting, shoving, trying like a toddler to make the square piece fit through a circular hole. The difference being toddlers learn. They move the pieces, shift them, help them pass through where they belong. The rest of the world simply protests the square is broken, throws it away, gets a new toy. I am not to be thrown away. I am not to be discarded. I am not one shape, one image to fit what has come before. I am something new. I am the middle, the median, a bridge between two worlds, each forgotten or unknown to the other. I am to become something previously unseen. I am a force, and I will not be molded or misdirected because you fear the unexpected. I am not a child. I am not yet past creativity or imagination. I am not an adult. I am a new beginning.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let's hear it.
Dear OCD, I thought that you were the horror novel of my past, the nightmare that I had woken up from. I thought that you were the dead soul that I had buried so long ago. I had buried you so well for an entire year because it was an entire year where I was free from the grip of repetitions. I could wash my hands once and move on with my day. I thought that you were finally gone, but I was wrong, and don't worry, you are still a part of me, but I'm scared. I'm scared that you will pry yourself. Tumor on my heart and my mind is subject to your every whim. Every tick, every quirk, every sound, you play pickup sticks with my brain, and I'm scared that I will become your slave again. That my hands are two entities that I have no agency over, that I must clench my fist and tap 2 times, or touch my face 4 times in that specific way that makes it look like I am praying when I'm really saying, when I'm really screaming for someone to help.
I have never been able to high-five my friend without pulling my hair out afterwards. When you high-five my right hand, my left seizes with anxiety and I cannot let it be. Everyone says that these are coping mechanisms, but they are nothing more than your way of keeping me bound within the confines of my psychosis. I want to get to know you. I want to shake your hand, one of yours with one of mine, and wouldn't that be fine if it didn't give me panic attacks? Flashbacks of traumatic events, thoughts that hit my being like a succession of never-ending trains running me over. Remember that every time that I twist my hair 3 times on one side before doing it on the other, that I'm just trying to keep you in OCD. You've lied to me. Because for an entire year, I haven't had to slap my face on both sides. I have nothing to hide. No one came up from behind and attacked me. My family is still alive, despite you telling me that your rituals are my only means to survive, because I wish that I weren't so anxious. Every time that I follow your evil patchwork of mindless repetition, I feel myself further chained into this jail cell that you painted me prisoner in, OCD. I'm sorry that I ignored you, that I tore you out of the book of my psychosis in which I translated relapse as impossible. I thought that I had gotten rid of you, but congratulations. I now know that you will forever be a part of me, no matter how much I want to let you go.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let me hear it.
30 bored students cluster in this chalky classroom on a Monday afternoon. Most of them want to be somewhere else. Most are itching to be alive and unchained and free. Free from the textbooks, the assignments, the expectations. Now Billy, the quietest of the students, looks out the window and begins to imagine a newer, bolder universe. Stop daydreaming, Billy, Molly tells him. But Billy cannot stop. In the cathedral of his mind, he invents a world where daydreaming is as noble a pursuit as medicine, law, or engineering. Billy, stop daydreaming. We're doing a free write. Now please begin writing. But Billy cannot stop. He looks around the room, sees Molly staring at the clock above and wonders if he'll ever live in a place without time. Sees Maya staring blankly at the page in front of her, wonders if she'll ever be able to salvage the words laying dormant inside of herself. Billy, stop daydreaming. Now tell me, what are you dreaming about? Billy's voice trembles and no words come out. I was dreaming about... He feels his hands shake underneath the table and wonders if in this dream world he imagines, he will have the courage to speak. If in this dream world his voice will be loud and heard. If in this dream world he will have a voice. Tears like bullets capsize his eyes and fall to his cheeks, burning them. Billy wonders when he will have a voice, when he will have the courage to speak, to tell the world what he truly thinks. But Billy does not know what he truly thinks. Billy spends his days constructing magical universes. Billy does not know what he believes in. Billy wonders when he will have a voice. But Billy already has a voice. He looks down at his blank page. It is waiting for him to save it from its blankness. It wants to hold Billy's dream world, his imagination, his voice, in its papery, calloused hands. Billy, stop daydreaming. Billy cannot stop, will not stop. Start dreaming, he tells himself, putting pen to paper. And he does.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let's hear it.
I was born into a paradise. Everything I wanted was within grasp and life was good, or so they thought. You see, if your life is good on the outside, it must be the same on the inside. As if the demons I fight in my head subside when your careless I love yous stab holes into the crumbling morale I struggle to keep. As if my claim for help is answered by my parents' six-figure salary that can buy me endless hers. But the day that I began to notice that the condition of my life, physically or financially, was not a representation of me mentally, was the day she confessed. I dragged on, limp strides, banded wrists told stories of demented times when heroes lacked identity, turned blind to my knees like truths that could have been avoided with compassion, lifted hands that served like band-aids to wounds so tarnished. My soul bled cries of joy, broken fingers wrote signs to catch the attention that I could never get. Submerged waters washed clean the bruises that reminded me that I was nothing, that I was not meant to be loved. But you see, she was the answer. She was what made it all okay. She was the truth. She separated fact from fiction. But I couldn't control her anymore. I tried to fight my way out, but she wouldn't let go, screaming to me loud and clear, I want to be you! Do you not see how I crave you? Letters full of unseemly love, one that knows no boundaries, hoping to catch your attention and receive something more than the empty touches of unwanted companions. You can be that cure to memory from the scars I tried to carve deeper. This could all be yours, never to worry about anything. I can be your muse, your love, your inspiration, your thoughts, your intelligence. I can be you. Consume the fears that encompass every breath, that suffocates every thought. Just think that I am yours. Believe that this is ours. You awake my everything so I do not succumb to the darkness that comforts the light that is escaping me. Rationalize my desperation to know that I am without. Voices that save me from the destruction that continues to hold us higher. Allow me to exist as you before we exist as nothing.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let's hear it.
Ode to America. In 1776, America won its independence against the British and has spent the past 239 years denying their own citizens that same right, because sure, we are the land of the free and the home of the brave, but how brave are we if I am still too scared to walk down the street? Because even if I know that what I'm wearing has nothing to do with my consent, men still do not understand that. How brave are we if we spend years hiding in the closet, too afraid to come out? How free are we if black men are still getting murdered on our streets while their murderers walk them free? How free are we if we give no power to the she? How free, how brave are we really? We are not free if I am still catcalled and slut-shamed. We are not free if people are still discriminated against because of the color of their skin. And this is my ode to America. America, home of the sexist and the racist, home of the rape culture and the cultural appropriation. This is the country I was raised in. But if we don't change, this is not the country I want to raise my daughter in. I do not want her to be gawked at on the street by strange older men. I do not want her to see news stories, videos of black men getting murdered on our streets by the same people supposed to protect them. This is my ode to America. Because if we don't do something, who will? If we don't fight the system, who will? If we don't protest in the street, our cries ringing through the air, resounding in the ears of the oppressors, our fists to the sky, pushing, pounding, pulling against each other's. We cannot go on like this with hatred for others running through our veins. I do not want to raise my children in a world where the first time I was told I had nice tits by a stranger on the street, I was 11, where the same stepbrother who wraps his arms around me when he cries gets kicked out of corner stores because of the color of his skin, where women don't get equal pay and 1 out of 5 women are sexually assaulted, and we build prison beds instead of homeless shelters. This is my ode to America, because we are all beautiful and changing and equal and diverse in our own ways and should be loved for those reasons. This is my ode to America. Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let's hear it.
This is what makes me a tragedy. According to the glossy magazines, the sitcoms, the boys who whistle bruises through their front teeth, teenage girl is synonymous with prey. Silence is the strongest armor, and a dab of pink lip gloss to lock her own words away for good. But I'm tired of saying, I think, instead of I know. I'll scowl when I storm down the streets, even if I look prettier with a smile, because I am not your delicate blossom, not your porcelain doll. I am an earth shaker. The electricity in my veins will set this city on fire. This is what makes me a tragedy. Years ago, an actress won an Academy Award for playing Chinese with her eyes taped back. Years ago, when I was in the 2nd grade, the other kids pulled back the corners of their eyes and yelled, chink. My parents saved up thousands to cross an ocean into a foreign land which sneered at their accents and paid them far less. But you don't care about any of that. You just want to know what dog tastes like. This is what makes me a tragedy. That's so gay is a bullet ripping through the air and lodging somewhere behind our rib cages. The secret we carry in our chests until the weight crushes our lungs because we are afraid of being mocked, being shunned, being killed for who we are. When I was 14, I locked my heart up ironclad, but I'm 17 now, and I demand to be free. This is what makes me a tragedy. Unwanted children are told we can never be heroes. We aren't worthy enough to fight dragons or save the kingdom because everybody knows fairy tales are rooted in love. My father asked for an abortion but didn't get one. So I am an eternal regret, a scar that will never fade away. But I will not apologize for my own existence because I am more than the mistake I was born to be. If, in your story, I am the mistake that ripped your life up from the inside out, then I'll write myself a different one. This is to everybody who has been told that they are tragedies. You might feel so lonely you could teeter at the brink of a cliff with nothing below but the abyss, and yet you are still emptier than the free fall. But the knife slashes swelling your heart raw will heal, I promise. In your future, there will be sunrises like spilled lemonade and so much laughter that your armor will fall away, and underneath, you'll find who you are meant to be. Don't ever forget you hold storms in your poems. You are a light so brilliant and true. You will not only endure, you will thrive.
My name is Juliana Mazziotti. I'm 17 years old. I'm a senior at Lincoln High School. And to me, poetry is my way of softening my experience of what I see and feel. Truth.
Speak it.
Truth.
Speak it.
Truth only.
Let's hear it.
I'm standing in front of an ocean. Sharp turquoise sea glass tessellates across the surface. Coral and seaweed vine wildly up my legs, twist me into a dimension of water. Mirages appear and they vanish. The ebb and the flow, the yawn and the heave, take me in to the waves.
We got you.
I'm looking at a reflection. The ocean is looking at itself. The sky is a mirror. Even the silver moon is floating upon water's surface. The ocean has become blurry. The horizon is a ghost. The lines of certainty are lost in a parallel. But this is my ocean. This is where I swim. This is where I swim into the tide, into the ebb and the flow, into the breath. This is my myth. My myth. These are mirages. Mirages, they're my consciousness. The ocean is my mirage. The ocean is me.
Truth!
Speak it!
Truth only!
Let's hear it!
Wade in the water.
Every time the master with me, and every time he made me birth his children, and every time she cut my hair so her husband wouldn't come back, and every time she sold those children to the highest bidder, I begged and I prayed for your mercy, and it happened again and again. And then you set us free. But that very same week I saw my master reincarnated into the body of his very own son. And this time they covered their faces and we prayed to the same God and pulled from the same scripture. But you must have answered their prayer when you let them hang my father as they raped my mother, and I begged for your mercy. And it happened again and again and again. And then you gave us hope, and Black is Beautiful and Black Lives Matter came from our lips as freely as our prayers to you. But as I held my brother's lifeless body in the streets, and this time they didn't cover their faces, they wore badges, and they said you would strike them down if you weren't doing their work. But they lived, and I begged for your mercy. And it happened again, and again, and again. Did Trayvon Martin not pray? Eric Garner and Mike Brown, Kendra James and Penny Proud, did she not pray? When we invited him into our home, did we not pray? 9 dead and he is alive. She was 5 and had to play dead and he is still alive. I'm tired of memorizing names and I can only write so much, so I'm asking you please, release the chains you bound my soul to 500 years. Raped and beaten, murdered, hung and shot. When will I receive my mercy? Pray with me he does, and murder me he will. Is my body not safe in your home? Or will my skin forever be the biggest sin? Must I bleach my skin for you, live for you, die for you? Must I campaign for you? Must you enslave me body and soul? What have I done to you? My knees are beaten, my back is scarred, my soul is broken. Am I your child? Are you my father? Your existence gives me hope and writes my death warrant. You are my judge and my bailiff, but I see you not in my jury. So I'm asking you, please, God, whose Lord are you? As I beg and I pray for my mercy. God's gonna trouble the water.
Son, I thought everything revolved around me. I basked in it. I didn't notice the people on planet Earth slowly dying of heat stroke. I was self-centered. I didn't notice Pluto slowly shrinking, no longer a planet. I was angry and hard to look at.
I used to be vinegar, white vinegar, pungent, acidic, burning and stinging like a snake bite, a liquid gunshot to the brain.
I used to be 4 a.m. waiting for something, waiting for you. I used to be 4 a.m. thinking this is it, thinking you could be the one.
I used to be a pencil, quick quickly forgotten, gray, bland, easily broken, lessening the more I was used. I was used!
I used to be a circle, same as them, caught up in an endless cycle of ignorance.
I used to be 2 a.m., anxiety-filled nights, endless black, cold feet, chills to the spine, unmistakable fear. Like when you lost your mom in the grocery store when you were 5.
But now Pluto is a planet again. And I am a constellation, Aquarius, connected, seen. We are all stars, dazzling diamonds in the dark.
Now I am tea, brewed to be strong, warm, comforting, familiar, like putting on a sweater after a day in the snow, like a cat napping in front of a roaring fire.
Now, I am 7 a.m. I am awake, but you are asleep. I am 7 a.m. drinking black coffee, but not fully awake to realize you aren't the one.
Now I am an eraser, small but powerful, removing my mistakes and regrets one by one. A dusty pink trail still follows me to remind me of where I've come from.
Now, I am a triangle, new corners and avenues filled with new views. My angles no longer blurred by my ignorance.
Now I am noon, full on and familiar, effervescent, my yolky rays.
I want to be a star, to the point. I want to look small among the rest, but a force to hold up close, like an idea when you least expect it. A drop of cream in a fresh made brew. I long to be the aurora borealis, light shining and colors dancing, the ocean and the sky. I will demand to be seen.
I want to be coffee, gritty but familiar, dark like wet bark, unmistakable and homey. I want to be a pen, blue like the ocean, fluid, unafraid to make my mark, my words write the big picture of life. I want to be 7 a.m., yellow nirvana nestled in the clouds, gleaming, warming, an egg yolk in the sky, about to break open.
Break open.
Those are some really, really great kids. Their voice matters. Yeah, their voice does matter. Everybody is very powerful. Everybody's got a lot to say, and we're all so young. And it just really speaks volumes, and it really shows that, yes, you can be wise, and you need to be heard no matter age you are. So my name is Savannah. I am 19 years old. I graduated from Jefferson last year. Yep, so graduated at class 2015 demos. Shout out to my friend London over there. All right, so I'm gonna play a little song that I wrote. I'm pretty sure you guys have all heard of History, but this song is called Herstory. She was just a she
wicked